How did WWE pull this off? To close out an October 1999 episode of Raw, Stone Cold Steve Austin locked Triple H inside a room with a rattlesnake. Rattlesnakes are venomous, and a bite from one can kill you. So how did WWE pull this stunt off safely? Well, that was a real rattlesnake, but the secret is literally looking at you right in the face. In between the snake and Triple H is a large sheet of glass. You can see the edge of the glass and its reflection in some of the shots. WWE had actually done this exact same trick several years earlier. In the early 90s, the Ultimate Warrior was put through several tests so he could get revenge on The Undertaker. One of the tests saw Warrior come face to face with a cobra. Like before, this was a real cobra, but to keep Warrior and the snake safe, WWE had a sheet of glass between them. A WWE secret that most fans don't know about is what's under the ring. Jon Moxley, formerly known as Dean Ambrose, revealed in his autobiography that there's actually a person whose job it is to stay under the ring during WWE shows. This person makes sure that weapons are in the right spots, fixes the ring when needed, and communicates with wrestlers when they go under the ring, among other responsibilities. This is why WWE has to be careful whenever they show what's underneath the squared circle. During one match, you can actually see the monitor the production member uses. Fans weren't supposed to see this, which is why the referee was quick to cover it up. Another time, fans actually got a glimpse of the crew member under the ring. The 2021 Hell in a Cell event took place during the pandemic era. Since there were no fans, WWE had the opportunity to make things a little safer for its wrestlers. During a spot in the WWE Championship match, Drew McIntyre was slammed out of the ring and onto a table. Drew did go through a table, but there was a crash pad underneath it to cushion the blow. Thanks to clever camera placement, fans didn't see this. However, they did see the crew member under the ring who had hidden the crash pad. I guess we know what happened to the hand that Mae Young gave birth to. This can also happen to wrestlers as well. During a live broadcast of Monday Night Raw, Brock Lesnar was spooked when his WrestleMania opponent, The Undertaker, sent a casket to the ring. No one was inside it until suddenly the dead man appeared. This trick was accomplished in two parts. One, Undertaker was already under the ring before Lesnar had entered. Once the casket was brought out, the Druids made sure it was as close to the ring as possible. The casket has a hidden trapdoor at the bottom, which is why there's a black curtain hanging below the casket. After Brock opens the casket and shows it's empty, Undertaker, who has been under the ring this entire time, uses the trapdoor and gets in place for his dramatic reveal. WWE did a good job of hiding all this. What they didn't hide was Undertaker accidentally poking out from under the ring apron. It's not just WWE that makes mistakes though. In 2021, AEW debuted the Blood and Guts match. It was similar to the classic War Games match that was started in WCW, with two rings and a giant steel cage around them. At the end of the match, MJF and Chris Jericho were on top of the cage. This led to Y2J getting thrown off the structure and landing on the hard floor below. Well, at least that was what it was supposed to be. Despite commentators calling it a concrete stage, it was clear as day that Jericho landed on a giant crash pad with silver cardboard laid on top of it. AEW did very little to hide the secret, and nobody watching could suspend their disbelief. In one of the most non-PG moments in the PG era, Enzo Amore got locked outside the locker room and walked around naked. Well, actually, Enzo wasn't really showing off his family jewels. The Certified G was wearing a modesty garment. These are skin-colored underwear that cover up a person's privates while still giving the appearance that they are naked. In WWE's case, they pixelated Enzo's no-no area, and with the skin-colored garment, it appeared the Certified G wasn't wearing anything. However, when either Enzo or the camera moved, you could sometimes see Amore's modesty garment poking through, ruining the illusion. In 2008 on TNA, Bubba Ray Dudley powerbombed his rival, Christian Cage, through a glass table.
Think about what the damage the glass can do! Oh my God!
The glass was made of sugar glass, which is much easier and safer to go through than the real deal. However, to add to the drama, a medical team came into the ring to help Christian. The only problem was that before the white towels had even touched Christian, they already had red stains on them. It was a smart idea, but bad camera work completely ruined it. Speaking of blood though, one of the biggest wrestling secrets is how wrestlers bleed. The blood is real, and to make it appear, wrestlers use a tiny razor blade called a gig. Wrestlers will usually hide their gig in part of their attire until it's time to use it. In fact, here's a trick you can sometimes use to tell if a wrestler will bleed during a match. If a wrestler who normally doesn't wear wrist tape is wearing wrist tape, there's a good chance they are going to bleed. The reason is that wrist tape is a common place for wrestlers to hide a gig due to its ease of access. A good example of this is Kurt Angle. The Olympic gold medalist wouldn't normally wear wrist tape, and the times that he did, it usually saw him get color. However, the hard part for wrestlers is making sure fans don't see it. there have been many incidents of wrestlers being caught on camera using their gig. In some rare cases, wrestlers have even lost their gig in the middle of a match. Oftentimes, the best tricks are the simplest ones. At WCW's biggest pay-per-view of the year, Starrcade, Terry Funk fought Crowbar in a hardcore match. One of the most brutal moments was when Funk slammed Crowbar's head with a door. However, the camera revealed a bit too much, and a black box was shown sitting on the floor, preventing the door from actually hitting Crowbar's head. Early in his career, Braun Strowman had a habit of flipping over large vehicles. Of course, this isn't physically possible, so how did WWE do it? Well, when Strowman flipped over WWE's production truck, a cable was attached to the top of the vehicle and pulled from the opposite side. You can briefly see this when Roman starts lifting the truck. Likewise, when the Monster Among Men flipped Vince McMahon's limo, the same hydraulic lifts were visible again too. The blindfold match is an often forgotten wrestling match type. Both wrestlers lose their sight and must use their other senses to fight their opponent. In reality though, the wrestlers can still see just fine, and the secret of the match was revealed on live TV. At WrestleMania 7, Jake the Snake Roberts fought Rick Martel in a blindfold match. Before the bell rang, Roberts pulled part of the blindfold away, which revealed two small spots that he could see out of. Jeff Jarrett and guitars go together like peanut butter and jelly.
He had to catch his breath. Old school! Jarrett with the guitar!
However, in real life, guitars don't share like that. It can actually cause serious injury. So, what's the secret? Most of the time, the guitars were real. However, they were shaved and hollowed out, making them easy to swing and safe to hit people with. The top and bottom of Jarrett's guitars were also loosely held together so the guitar could break away in spectacular fashion. However, they were sometimes too loose. During one of his entrances, Jeff Jarrett's pyro causes the guitar to fall apart. You can see how the only thing holding the bottom of the guitar was a thin piece of string. Size is an important part of WWE, and the company has a few tricks to make their wrestlers appear taller than they actually are. One of these tricks happens backstage. When a wrestler is being interviewed, the interviewer will sometimes crouch down or spread their legs. This makes the interviewer appear shorter and thus makes the wrestler look bigger. WWE hides this by filming from the waist up, but sometimes the camera pulls back a bit too far and you can see the trick. This is one of the reasons why WWE usually has petite women as backstage interviewers, since they typically don't need to adjust their height. However, WWE will sometimes have female interviewers go barefoot to make them as short as possible. One of the keys to having a successful wrestling match is clear communication. Obviously, wrestlers can't pause the match to go over what they need to do next, so they have a few tricks. One is simply talking to each other. To prevent fans from noticing, wrestlers continue to stay in character while they do this. This can even happen when wrestlers are talking on the mic. During a contract signing, LA Knight needed Paul Heyman to say one more line so he could cut him off. Here's how they did it.
I don't care! Will you shut the hell up?
Another trick wrestlers use to exchange information is through the referee. On an Attitude Era episode of Raw, The Rock had just laid the smackdown on Triple H and Shane McMahon. However, as the Great One was leaving the ring, he decided to improvise. While it looks like the People's Champ is talking back to the referee, The Rock's actually telling the referee his plan so the ref can relay it to Shane McMahon. So what did The Rock tell the referee? That Shane was about to get his candy ass beaten. WWE has a lot of little tricks they use to enhance their shows that most fans don't even know about. Before the first ever Hell in a Cell match, WWE officials were checking under the ring to make sure nobody would interfere in the match. However, the cameras got a bit too close and revealed an audio amplifier. WWE keeps microphones under the ring so that all the bumps and slams sound loud and devastating.
Listen to the impact of this! You're not gonna like this, Rumble!
On the topic of Hell in a Cell, you'll sometimes notice holes in the chain link structure. These serve an important purpose. The original cell was difficult to climb. Not only was this a safety concern, but it also made the match slower. To solve this, WWE added these holes to the cell to make it easier for wrestlers to climb. One of the most bizarre WWE moments was seeing Baron Corbin chuck Rey Mysterio off a building. The match concluded on the roof, which is how Corbin was able to send Mysterio plummeting to his death. Here's a fun fact: all these fans are fake. Sorry, let me explain. In the main event of SmackDown in Season 2, The Undertaker fought Kurt Angle. The match ended in controversy when Undertaker tapped out right when the referee was counting the pinfall on Angle. This was all part of the script. However, Angle and Undertaker's timing was off, and it didn't look good on TV. Normally, WWE couldn't do anything about this, but this episode of SmackDown wasn't broadcast live, so after the fans had cleared out of the building, WWE actually reshot this ending. The company had the backstage personnel pretend to be fans and position the camera so you wouldn't notice the arena was empty. With some clever editing, it was barely noticeable. Well, until I told you. The real fake fan, though, is the guy who disrespected Eddie Guerrero during a tribute for him. To see what happened to that guy, watch this video.